Hey, it's great to be back and see your faces. I missed you. I mean, I have a good time, but I missed you too. Good to see you again. So, my husband and I just returned from a trip to Scandinavia. As many of you know, Scandinavia and Iceland was really interesting. And when one is in Scandinavia, one sees around this word that's spelled H-Y-G-G-E. H-Y-G-G-E. Wait, don't bring it up yet. I'm going to surprise. Hang on just a second. So when you see that word, it sounds like hygge, right? It sounds like it should be pronounced hygge. It's the Danish and the Swedish word for happiness. So that'd be great if it was hygge, because you could say, let's get hygge with it. But it's actually pronounced hygge. Hygge. Can we say that together? Hygge. Yeah. And it is this beautiful idea of internal and community happiness. You know, in the Scandinavian countries, in the winter, there are only a few hours of light a day, right? And so they've created a way of sustaining themselves through the darkness by focusing on internal well-being and community well-being. And it has a lot of different elements in it. Okay, we'll show the slide now. We'll look at that together. And it's really about embracing the simple things in life and living into gratitude for every day, creating a comfortable, cozy environment, finding balance, being present in the moment, nurturing self-love, enjoying friends, and living your life well, however you define that. Right? These are elements that we know about, right? We focus on this. We talk about this. It's not a foreign concept to us. Hygge. Hooray for hygge, we could say. All right, so, and you can take that down now. So my experience with the Scandinavian people is that they're really happy people. In fact, I think they self-report as one of the happiest places on earth, happiest people. Content. They're kind to strangers. They're considerate. They seem content. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the fact that they don't have to worry about paying medical bills. They don't have to worry about how they're going to balance, prescription drugs with putting food on the table, because health care is that's all taken care of. They also have parental leave, both sets of parents, for 12 months. Yeah. They have child care is provided. Social services are provided. The university is free. I mean, you can go all the way from freshman year through a doctorate program free, without paying any money. Right? Now, some people go, well, yes, they pay a lot in taxes. And we know this. But the people we talked with, seem to be happy to pay that in order to have this security. I mean, there are very few homeless people. We noticed very few homeless people. I mean, there's always people who are struggling with addiction and mental illness, and no matter how much you provide, then they're going to be there. But they're very few. People are they're caring, and they really care about each other. And I think that adds to our sense of their sense of happiness, and also reduces the stress, really, for everybody. There also tend to be really healthy people. In Copenhagen, there are more bikes than there are cars. People are biking and walking everywhere. And they make it easy for you, because there's a designated bike lane, and next to that, it's a designated pedestrian lane, and all of it is just as wide as the cars on the major boulevards. And so they love to get out and exercise, which is good to balance out, all the yummy pastries that are everywhere, right? Now, I don't know how this works in the winter, okay? I was only there in the summer. I don't think I would like biking to work in the winter. But somehow they're, I don't know, a healthier lot, hardier souls than me. And they love to get out into nature, too. I think that contributes to the forest, doing a lot of forest bathing and plenty of forests, Norwegian woods, right, to walk in and do forest bathing. Yeah, but I think more than anything is a strong sense of family. There's a strong sense of family and community there. We noticed a lot of children. And we notice also a lot of fathers with their kids. I think the fathers participate in parenting just as much as the mothers. And also grandparents. There were so many grandparents with their grandchildren. You know, it's just their approach to, child rearing is more intergenerational. So there is, I think, this strong sense of family and community that contributes to this feeling of happiness. And it's kind of baked into their values, the community care and the collective good, right? The collective good. Imagine being in a community where people really care about each other and they want to participate in the collective good, where they, cultivate connection with each other and help each other become the best possible person that they can be. I feel like we have gotten further and further away from that in this country. So we must create it for ourselves. We must create that community for ourselves. And I think that's what we are doing here in this spiritual community. That's what we're about, creating this. We're not perfect, right? But we're co-creating this experience together. So we're working on it. And this is what our new members are stepping into. We're welcoming them into a spiritual community of love and care and spiritual support, right? A community where we remind ourselves and each other who we truly are. Divine beings experiencing this human realm, navigating through as best we can through this human realm that's so present. Right? But reminding ourselves and each other who we truly are and opening our heart in love. Remembering, I love that meditation as Waldo, trusting and opening a heart in love. It's safe to do here, right? It's a safe place to do that. So Copenhagen is really proud of their native son, Hans Christian Andersen. You see depictions, everywhere. There's statues, and particularly the story of the Little Mermaid. And they have this beautiful statue, and I think we have the next slide is the Little Mermaid who is kind of out right in the bay there. And all of the tourist buses come, and they let all the tourists out so they can take pictures, and all the boats come up, and everybody's taking pictures of this Little Mermaid. I mean, it's nice, but I'm not quite sure I get it. She has endured some indignities through the years, they told us. She's been beheaded twice. Somebody ripped off her arm. She's been spray painted with a graffiti. A group of conservative Muslims came and covered her up. All kinds of things. I mean, it's nice, but... So in that same park, there was this other monument, and we can go to the next slide, that not many people were around, but I found it much more interesting. And it's kind of a triangle, and you can see this bas relief is a depiction, if you can't because it's kind of small, it's a depiction of a ship that is breaking apart and, men are falling into the sea. It's a tragic scene. And then you have this angel on top here. And then on the other side, and if you go to the next slide, you have a scene where, yes, this boat is failing and they're falling in, but it's hard to see. But you have another boat that is coming and helping them into their boat and helping to save them and saying, yes, welcome, you're welcome to come into our boat and get to safety. And then you have this, this angel on top. So it's really kind of a depiction of this, the Danish thing of the collective good. We're working for the collective good. And I thought about this a little later and how the angel is really important here because the angel kind of opens our hearts. That angelic energy opens our hearts to love and opens our heart to each other. And so I was meditating on this for the next couple of days and how that angelic presence, in the Course in Miracles, they talk about the angels being the thoughts of God or our highest possible divine thoughts. And so when we're attuned to those highest divine thoughts, we're in our true nature and compassion comes naturally. So being in alignment, in attune with this angelic thing, I thought, it's kind of like a doorway. We can see it as a doorway to our essential nature. And when we align ourselves with, when we recognize that angelic higher nature, and we could call this maybe our Christ nature or our highest self or that divine light energy, whatever we refer to this, either way, when we recognize that doorway and open it up, we step into our essential nature of love and oneness. We also are opening the door to our essential nature of peace, of joy, of well-being, of wholeness, of abundance. So it's all waiting for us. It's all there waiting for us to recognize that doorway and to open it. And we do that by spiritual practice, with spiritual practice. And if you find it helpful to think about that, the doorway, opening that, call upon whatever it is that calls to you, that angelic energy or the Christ energy or the highest self or guidance or something. Call upon that and really visualize yourself coming into alignment with it, opening the doorway and allowing the flow of that natural essence that you are into your life. That's one way to really think about it, and it spoke to me. I believe that this is what Jesus meant when he said, pray in my name. That it's really pray in my nature. And sometimes some translations is pray in my name and nature. So we're praying in the nature of that higher frequency, that higher angelic vibrational frequency that is in alignment with joy, with love, with oneness, with peace, with infinite good. We're praying in that nature. So we open that door to that energy, that vibration, and we realize, Well, that's who I am. That's my essential nature. And that is the answer to the prayer, right? And that's when we grow into our power. We grow from seeing ourselves as a victim or needy or less than, and we grow into a powerful presence that gives from the overflow. A powerful presence that gives from the overflow, right? That abundance, that good, that love, that joy is pouring through us. And we're opening the door, right? And allowing it, giving from the overflow. There's so much. I don't have to worry about giving it because there's so much more coming in. So in the Pathways class that all of the new members took, we talked about the 4 aspects of being, or 4 levels of being, which is really our the way that we see the world, our worldview, right? So just really briefly, the first level is victim level. This is where we come from the position of they're doing it to me. Life is doing it to me, right? And who can I find to blame for making my life miserable? And people who are in this place, and I've been there. We've probably all been in that place of feeling like a victim, right? Feeling like they're doing it to me. People who live in this consistently, right, don't have an awareness of this angelic or divine presence within them. In fact, they often look to an outside thing, like the angel or the Christ or the Buddha or whatever divine figure is a separate entity outside of them that they must plead to help save them from this. That is the victim level, right? The second level up is victor. And this is when we move into more of an awareness of that angelic divine presence, that is our true nature. That is our higher nature. And that we become at choice. We become aware that our thoughts and our attitudes and our beliefs are powerful in shaping our experience. And we begin to play with that. Oh, now that I know that, how can I use that to change my experience? And maybe play with manifesting our desires, right? Now, we're still, though, with these 2 levels, we're coming from an awareness of it's me. It's just me. It's not until we move to the next level of vessel do we move from me to we. And that third level of vessel, as Unity calls it, is that now, not only have we recognized this higher divine energy, this angelic energy, but we're opening ourselves up to become a channel for the flow of that good. We're in alignment with it. We see others as expressions of this divine presence. We know our oneness with others. We know that we're in this together. Right, that's the vessel level. And then the final level they call in Unity verity, which is really the highest absolute truth, living fully from the highest absolute truth of your being, which, frankly, very few people do on a consistent basis. We can have moments of glimpsing moments of it in sacred or mystical moments. And we probably all have had moments of that. So that is that highest level of verity. And again, knowing our complete oneness with each other. And someone in our group, I want to say, pointed out that These are not precisely defined levels, that they kind of merge from one into the next, and the next. And that we can go back and forth between these levels very often in the same day. I know I have. It takes effort to live from these higher levels on a consistent basis. It takes effort, it takes practice. And frankly, that is why we're not a mega church. That is why the masses don't show up, because it's personal responsibility, right? You need to practice this. In order for you to experience, you must practice. We practice the tools that we have, that we talk about here. Meditation, affirmative prayer, discovering and playing with and working with our 12 powers, which we have an opportunity to know more about soon. And sacred service, seva, sacred service. These are ways that we practice, and it becomes easier to remember, oh yes, that presence is who I am. And as I open my heart, I open a channel, I open the doorway, right? It flows through and as me. And life seems to become more harmonious, more full of joy, more full of love. So that is our goal, right? This is what we are working towards. This is what we're supporting each other in knowing, in remembering, in doing, right? In being able to open that door and have that experience. We're here to remind each other. And then we come together and we celebrate that energy. We celebrate that good. We celebrate the hygge. That really, we cultivate it and we celebrate it here. Yes. So I have more to share, but I'll wait till next week. In the meantime, let's focus on opening the door. Okay? Namaste.
Hi, it's Rev Victoria here. I'm at Unity Center of Peace with our house band, Bright Matter.
Hello.
Yeah, and if this video has inspired you or empowered you or opened your heart, opened your consciousness, or even just given you hope, we ask that you support what we're doing here by making a donation today, going to unitychapelhill.org or clicking the link below. And we thank you.
Thank
Thank you.